Attention. The contents of this recording and any accompanying documentation are confidential and intended only for authorized persons. If you have received this recording in error, stop playback immediately and advise the sender by all practical means. If advising your sender is not possible, contact your supervisor or local federal law enforcement official. Failure to do so will constitute a federal crime that carries a penalty of not less than 25 years in prison and or a fine of not less than $175,000. Content follows. Good evening, Mr. Brennan. My name is Agent Smith, insofar as it matters to you. I want to be your friend, Mr. Brennan, and I think we really could be friends, have a wonderful relationship, if you're just willing to answer my questions. Now, speaking of that relationship, I don't want to prejudice you at all, Mr. Brennan, but I feel I really should tell you that I'm the last reasonable person you're going to talk to for, well, a really long time, if you're not honest with me. And by reasonable, of course, you should understand that I mean that I won't use the collection of objects on this tray. Nasty-looking things, aren't they? This, blue one here especially, with all the little hooks on it. That's, of course, before we plug it in and turn on the juice. But enough about that, Mr. Brennan, because, like I said, I'd like for us to be friends. Why don't I lay a few things out for you, Mr. Brennan, okay? So we're on the same page? I find it's very hard to make friends with people who don't understand the situation. So, we know that you, through means unknown to us, appeared inside a highly secure missile defense base. No trace of how you'd gotten there, aside from a significant pulse of energy. This pulse caused some pretty serious damage to the interceptor platform. Strictly temporary, but it did leave a hole in our defense network for just about 7 minutes. We know that you claim to have no knowledge of how this happened, and the last thing you supposedly remember is being at home and, let me get the quote here. Reading a cool TL by the doctor. Certainly you don't appear to have the equipment we would expect of an expert infiltrator. Food-stained cotton shirt and shorts of some synthetic material are hardly what you'd call spyware. We know that your claim to American citizenship is, well, not true, because there exists no record of your birth, your genetic profile, or even the town in which you claim to live. I know you're not a Soviet agent because, well, your teeth. It's a dead giveaway. The radioactive signature of your teeth is far too weak to have spent any time in the Soviet Union. We know that you're not a German agent because you're not one of those so-called Aryans. And, well, no offense, buddy, but any Abwehr officer that brought you in, yeah, he'd be hung from meat hooks for recruiting anyone so racially impure. And we know, of course, that you're not a Confederate agent because, well, they're kind of stupid, and we've had complete agent lists for decades. And, of course, we know that you're not an agent of any of the domestic terror groups, because if you were, we'd have killed you by now. So, additionally, Mr. Brennan, you've made some pretty strange claims about the world, indicative of either a serious disconnect with reality or, I guess, a serious problem of using consciousness-altering substances. Let me give you some advice. If you're gonna spout nonsense and pretend it's the truth, you should stick with plausible things and not, laptop computers and Negro presidents. Now, Mr. Brennan, like I said, I want to be your friend. But I can't be your friend if you're not honest with me. I'd really just like to know where you're actually from and what you were sent to do. And, well, I don't want to hear any more of that fucking bullshit about ATLs and ISOTs and whatever the fuck else you told the boys downstairs. Just look at that stuff on the tray. You can be friends with me, or you can be friends with the people who will use those things. It's up to you. Just give me some honest answers, Mr. Brennan. And then we can be friends.